So here we go, here's my new toy. I thought I'd do a video seeing I haven't done one for a while, and this is probably the most expensive thing I've ever bought in my entire life, so it seemed like a good idea to probably talk a little bit about it. It's a Suzuki DL650 V-strom. I also thought I'd do a review because I haven't seen any decent reviews for this bike on YouTube at all. It's just people riding around. So yeah, here we go, this is the bike. I chose it mostly, well, as I'm sure anybody who drives in this country now feels, basically every motorist who owns a car is getting fucked royally by the government, and apart from getting a tax-exempt vehicle, this is pretty much the only way that you can survive on our streets these days, especially once they bring in this road pricing bollocks. So yeah, basically you've got a vehicle here which does about 45 to 50 miles to the gallon, goes about the same speed as a Porsche 911, and you can park it pretty much anywhere, carry two people, and a crap load of luggage, so you can't really ask for more than that. Even with modern gear these days, rain and weather isn't really a problem either. So yeah, I was quite worried when I swapped my car to move to a motorbike, and I've been riding now. Probably coldest I've ridden is probably 0 degrees. It was a bit cold, but totally bearable, nothing really problematic, and that was about an hour ride. So yeah, no, this is more than capable of all weather travel on one of these. What you see here, this is I think this is a UK only model, which doesn't come with ABS, and it comes with these well, you get engine bar, you don't get the camera, you get the skid pan, and these nifty handguards, this funny tinted screen which goes up and down. I think on the normal model you get a slightly bigger screen. Some people have whinged about some turbulence issues, but with this screen, with this sort of curvy bit here, I haven't really found any problems with it, I must admit. What else do you get? This is, I got these second hand on eBay. Basically got a full pannier luggage. This is the proper V-strom luggage, which I must admit is pretty crap in its design. These side panniers, you can't stand them up like regular suitcases. I actually haven't got one of them with me. So I'd go for another make. I think I saw some Givey boxes on my mate's XT660, and they're superb. I recommend, if you can get them for this, don't go for the Suzuki stuff, go for some Givey stuff, or flashy aluminium ones if you can afford it. What can I say about the bike? Well, this is my first big bike. I've only ever used to ride sort of piles of crap round fields and a few motocross bikes, but I'm not a very good rider, I won't say. On that experience, I only passed my test over January time, and I've had this bike now for about a month, I think. I don't know how many miles I put on it. It's I think it's getting on to 2,000 miles now. It's, yeah, seems really good. Good points. Engine seems awesome. Fuel tank, you get about 220 miles before you hit the reserve. It's a 5-gallon tank under here. I can't be asked to move the tank bag. Front brake's good. Seat I find very comfortable. There's this unlocks here. You've got the lock here, and this whole seat section removes out. There's more space than I've ever seen on any other bike under there. Again, I can't be asked to get it out. This is another poor design of this. You have to take the top box off to get the seat out, which is really stupid. And I know on the Givey stuff you don't have to do that. What else? One thing I would seriously recommend if you're in the UK or any other cold country, heated grips. I had these chucked in as a deal. These make life a lot more bearable if you're doing a couple of hour journeys in the rain and the wet. I think these are Daytona grips. Yeah, something like that. They get very warm. 2 settings, start and on. Yeah, it's pretty much what it says on the tin. Yeah, keep your hands nice and warm. One thing I must say about this bike that I love are these headlights. They're better than the ones on my car. You can see for miles, and they really give you a good view of all the hedges and stuff. So when you're riding backcountry lanes and stuff, you can spot rabbits and deer in the hedges and try and anticipate what the hell they're going to do next. So yeah, really pleased with those. The display's pretty cool as well. I really like the startup. Look at that, it's pretty cool, isn't it? One thing I will say though is the fuel gauge isn't particularly fabulous. Oh, there's a bit of sunlight there, let's try and block that. Oh, no. Basically, you get two warnings when you're running low on fuel. First of all, it gets down to this bottom one here. This little petrol tank symbol starts flashing. Oh god. And then when you're on reserve, both of them, this bottom bit and the petrol thing, start flashing. It's not that noticeable, but it does have 2 trip meters, which is quite useful. So this one I always set when I fill up again, so I know probably got another 100 miles in the tank at least. And then that one, you get a second trip just for the hell of it. Oh, there you go, I've only done 1,102 miles. Better put a few more miles on it. But yeah, nice clear concise dash apart from that. One thing I'd say I'm not too keen on is the back brake. I don't know, it doesn't feel as much feel as I'd like. I've locked up once or twice when I've not been putting what I thought was that much pressure on it, and there's not as much feel. I like brakes with a lot of sort of give, but not too spongy. I don't know, it feels a little bit spongy with it, but it's not really an issue. It's still, yeah, still feels good, and to be honest, there isn't really much I can say that's bad about this bike. But there again, it's my first bike, so I'm not really going to knock it. So I guess you'll want to hear what it sounds like. Well, turn it on. Now with Suzuki's, you always have to start with the clutch in. The starter's in the usual place under there. So I don't know, I think it sounds pretty good actually. I noticed after the first 1,000 miles it's really started to change its tone. What I couldn't believe is these things have a catalytic converter on them now, which is unbelievable. So yeah, all this emission tax ban crap has come in for these as well. Sounds quite trially there, and then I won't rev it because I'm near someone's house. Yeah, then it sounds quite sports bikey. Hopefully you'll hear it on the camera we have here. I don't know, it keeps cutting out on me. So hopefully I've shot enough footage to make a good video, and yeah, that's about it.